everyone. Welcome to Thursday's Facebook Live. Time came really quick, so I'm here and have an interesting flower today, zinnias. I'm just discovered those a couple days ago, and I thought those look like a really good one-stroke class. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me just get my comment section going here and take a deep breath. I just ran down from the upstairs. But I thank you all for joining and just coming and painting with me. I hope y'all noticed I used the logo, keeping your brushes busy. Or oh my gosh, I just did it. But anyway, that's the logo that I have my sign off and or my motto. And so all of my postings now will be sort of similar. I enjoyed having all the different backgrounds, but I think this will be pretty nice. Just keeping it simple with my motto on there. So we got that going. So I don't have too much to say today, but I do want to talk about certifications just briefly. September, we should kick off and get some good certifications or one-stroke classes, and it's a good time because kids are back to school. You could be painting Christmas gifts or other holiday gifts. So it's just a good time. Indoor activities start, especially up here in the northern states. You know, we start getting our cold weather and everything. So just keep that in mind for certifications. And my email is thepaintedvine@gmail.com. So, okay. Oh, hi. I got some comments here. I better check. I still have my big screen TV, which is nice. We have Belvin, Brenda, and Grammy. That's not your name, I know. You're a Grammy. So Joyce and Debbie. Thank you all for joining. And like I said, today's going to be zinnias. And let me just scroll this back up a little better. And it's going to be pretty simple, and I really had nothing else to say today except for let's get started to paint. Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to mention it about certifications, and also just a reminder that next week I won't be here. It's my last obligation for this year or this summer, and I'll be able to start September up and running. You know, I hope to next week get just some downtime while I'm waiting for the different events that I have to attend to brainstorm and come up with some good plans for next year. My webcam is still broken. It's not the webcam, it's the stand, but I was surprised it's still under warranty, and I should have my new one tomorrow. So it'll be a little easier for us to navigate during the class. So with all that said, I'm going to have to manually turn my camera around, and then we can get started. Okay, so this is the little design that I put together. Actually, it was this morning with some different types of zinnias, the same zinnias but at different views. I am so sorry I'm rambling this morning. It's just been a weird day. I gotta, sort of settle down, I think. And I did different colors, so you can see what different colors combinations you could do to just, get your creativity going for that. And on each one I have a different center, also for you to do your own choices. I truly don't have, let me do this. I don't have too many reference photos like I like to do. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I know, I don't know, it's me. Um, I don't have too many reference photos, but I did find this one, and this is totally side view. And I did notice, looking at different flowers, that zinnias come with like one layer of petals to numerous petals. So here's a side view of one that has like 3 or 4 layers. This was the one that I got that is looking down, and with the center that we're looking toward, at the center basically. And then this one is, I think, I love the center. It reminds me of a pineapple though. Just one, this zinnia was just one layer of petals with this pretty little center. Okay, and then the leaf. This is a picture of a leaf. It's going to be like our simple one-stroke leaf. We don't have to do all those vines. Just a couple in there would work just fine. So those were my reference photos, and I'll go back real slow so when you watch this, if you need to look at them, you can see them there. And they were all just from, like Google Images. Okay, so, and this is what we're going to do, this one. So I've already just sort of penciled in my design, and this is just for me. With one stroke we typically don't have patterns, but sometimes I like to, especially for camera, just for my own comfort, to have those shown. You can also, though, if you want, like chalk in. Look, it sort of looks like figures, doesn't it? Like a little family of figure sticks. So anyway, I'm just going to use this one. The colors I'm going to use, and I'll tell you the colors as I go. I just got to scoot up a little bit here. I feel like I got a little glare. Okay, can you all see okay? I see like a little shadow right here, but hopefully that's not, too annoying there. I'll start with, what I'm going to do though, is start with the stems. A lot of times, the majority of times when I'm painting like a group of flowers, I will paint stems and leaves first. So for those colors for today, I chose lime green and classic green. I chose those colors because when I was looking at the reference, they almost had like a yellowish tinge to it. So these 2 colors look pretty good for leaves. So I'm going to put some out there on my palette. I didn't need floating medium at all today when I was painting this, so I didn't even put it on my table. But if it turns out that I need to, I'll just get up real quick and get some floating medium. Now for the leaves, I'm just going to use our number 12 flat brush. And I'll just dip it into the water, clean water. I have my basin right here over to the side here. Just going to dip it into water and tap on our paper towel. And double load, half and half. Right here in the middle, I'm just going to go back and forth. So I'm dipping, and then stroking. In my head, I go dip, dip, stroke, stroke, and I get my brush 2/3 fully loaded. Then I'll just paint the stems. I'll start with this one. Now when you paint stems, and then when you paint the flowers, go from the center of the flower down into the direction that you want to go to. In this case, I was just going to go, let me come up a little bit here. There. There we go. Let me just close my curtain right here. That might be the problem. Okay. Maybe not. What I was going to say is, from the center of the flower, that's where your stem is sort of like coming from. So even though I have a curve coming down, I'm going to have that invisible line going to the center. I'm going to lead with the light green. So I'm starting here on the chisel edge and just coming straight down. I'm going to stroke that again because I ran out of paint coming down. I ran out of paint, but for me, it doesn't necessitate floating medium. Okay. This is going to be fun today. Oh, hello, Dora. Can someone just give me a comment like, can you see my painting, or is that shadow just too awful? And I know it does take a little bit of time for a comment to show up, but so I'll just go on to the next stem. And so I'm just getting more paint. Now this flower, I want the center to be in the center of this little circle. Oh, Belva says she can see perfectly, so thank you. I'm just going to try to get that out of my mind and not be concerned. Oh, good. Iris, thank you for telling me that. So here's the center of my flower. There's my invisible line of my stem. I'm going to touch it right here and then just come right on down. Chisel edge, leading with the light green. One more stem. Here, this one, I put the center here. This one's going to be up closer to the top of the flower a little bit, and I'll just bring it on down. So that's what I did first. I did my stems. Now these leaves are very simple. In fact, I don't even think I need to show how to make them. They're just basically two one-stroke leaves together. This is but I do want the light green on the outside. So here, the only difference between one-stroke leaves and what I'm doing today is I'm going to be touching this stem. So there is going to be my first mark, like what I always say, like the 12 to 6 position. And then I'm going to come straight out this way. And I want this fairly long, so I'm just going to let my push, turn, and lift just go a little bit longer than normal. So, but I'm not calling this a slider leaf. It's still just going to be like a one-stroke leaf because I'm pushing, I'm turning, I'm lifting and coming up to the edge. Okay. I'm going to turn my paper around and paint a one-stroke leaf coming back. Getting more paint. Light green on the outside, and I'm pushing, I'm turning, and I'm lifting, and I'm touching that leaf right there at the point. Then I'm going to, even though I'm on the stem of the flower, on the chisel edge, I'm going to just pull my chisel edge through this dark green, or what I call is the mess of the mess of the paint when we do some certain kinds of strokes like that, and just pull a stem through. Now, remember on those leaves we had veins. So just to add a few veins in this leaf, I'm just going to, on the dark green side of the corner of my brush, I'm just going to pull, on the very tip of my brush, I'm just going to pull a few thin lines on the edge into that leaf right here while it's wet. And when that dries, it will show as a vein. So let's do this one. Now these leaves are not staggered on the stem. They touch together right there. So the two leaves are, I guess, like a bow tie. So here's where I'm going to start my leaf here, and it's going to come down right to this point. So I push, turn, lift, and then for me, I'm going to turn my paper around. I'm going to get more paint. One of the important things in one stroke is to make sure you always have enough paint. We can't say that enough. And then leading with the light green, I'm pulling the main vein in there, helps clean up the little mess in the middle. And then on the edge of my green, I'm just touching and making little streaks. Okay. Okay, Lori, I'll see, but let me just click it out of autofocus and back into manual, and sometimes that helps. Oh, okay, great. Let me know if it's okay then. Okay, so I did that one first. Now I'm just going to come down the flowers and paint the leaves. So what that means is this flower is in the back, this one is in the middle, and then this one's going to be in the front. Now, if you wanted your flowers in reverse, like I contemplated putting this one in the front, it would mean that I would then have to paint these leaves first before this one. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Yes, I have my camera on autofocus, and I think it's because the lighting is really not good today. It seems bright in here, and it's very, very dark outside. So I think all that combination, I'm not getting the best of lighting like I normally do, and autofocus does not like that. But if I go into manual, it won't change at all. So we'll just have to, I'll just try to be aware if it looks out of focus, and I'll see if I can just click it and get it back to look right. Okay, so now I'm going to do these next leaves. Getting more paint. And unfortunately, the dogs are here, and they're coming back and forth. Okay. Okay, so let me get my bearings. I'm doing this one right here. There's my oh my gosh. Okay, there's my 12 and 6, and here's my line. Oh, forgive me. We're sort of like babysitting, I think. Okay, so here's my push, turn, lift. Okay, and I'll do the other side. I know you all are my friends, and it's okay, but I feel like, oh my gosh, this is not professional at all. But hopefully you're enjoying the class. And then I'm going to do push, turn, lift, and then bring in my stem. Okay. And then again on the corner of the dark green, just make some little lines right here, like that. Okay. Keep doing this. We only have 6 leaves, so it won't take too long here. And I left the light green on the outside, giving it that lighter green leaf look. And that was the whole purpose of doing that. I do have to wipe my paint off, though. I got a little too much. What happened was the dogs distracted me, and on my runway, I did the dark green on the light green side. If that happens to you, um, just wipe your brush off. That's why I did that. Then I re-dipped into my two colors, and then I'm starting a new spot on the palette, the runway. If you're using the double loader, you would just move over to the next, like pie shape that you have right there. So just making some little lines there. Okay. And then one more set of leaves. I'm going to make this one a little littler or smaller because it's a smaller flower. Now we could have gotten away with just making one-stroke leaves, but I just thought it would be nicer to just continue the look that I was doing here. And then more leaves right here. Let me get this side here too. Okay, and I'll just do the stems. There you go. So that's the leaves there. Oh, I can't see your, oh, Mary, I can't see, or I think it must be Belva's answer about dipping your brush. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It's just like, but you just go on. Okay, so I'm done with the flat. So I'm going to just lay it into my brush basin right now. Now, when I say that, it's only because I'm going to be only painting for about a half hour or so. So I don't mind leaving my brush like this in the brush basin. But if you're going to be not using it for a lot longer, I then will go on the side here, go back and forth gently but firmly on those grids and get the paint out. So I do both. It just depends on where I am in the painting process that I'm working on. Okay, the first flower we're going to do is the top color. And that is with daffodil yellow. So I'll get that out. And as you know, this is all multi-surface paint. And then I'm going to use yellow ochre as my dark yellow. The brush I'm going to use for these zinnias, I'm using a filbur brush. Because the filbur will give me that round shape without even having to think. We're just going to go in there and just make some rows of color using the filbur brush that gives us that round edge. Now for this one, this is a bigger flower, so I'm using a number 10. The number 10 filbur. And the numbers are on the handle like our flat brushes. And the filbur has that rounded tip right there. And they come at all sizes. And I know I bought these off of onestroke.com. So because these are our plaid one-stroke brushes. And there's a whole set. Like this is a number 8. No, this is a 6, and then here's the number 8. And there's even a bigger one, which I didn't pull out because I knew I wasn't going to use it. So these are the 3 smaller sizes. So they come in all different, whatever you need to use. Now for the filbur, for how I'm loading it today, there's a few ways to load. I'm going to, in one color, I'll use the daffodil yellow first, on this whole flat side of this brush, I'm going to, on the side of the puddle of paint, I'm going to just stroke. So I have paint on that side. Nothing on, well, I say nothing on that side. A little bit's going to come through because of the bristles, but this is the side I loaded. Then on the yellow ochre side, I'll do that on the other side go back and forth like this. And I want it fully loaded. That's why I stroked the side of the puddle of paint a couple of times. So I'm fully loaded, 2/3 up. This side yellow ochre, this side yellow. I'm just looking at my notes first. Colors that you're going to have on your project will be different depending on what color you have laying down first. The rule of thumb about what color is dominant I have to say, unfortunately, has never worked for me. So I am going to have to say, when you're wanting to start working with the Filbert, go with your experience. Because in my experience, I almost don't have a dominant color. But I am going to attempt it, having the darker color at the bottom by painting with the daffodil yellow first. The thought was the reverse, I think. The dominant's supposed to be the bottom color, but it has never worked for me. And so just give it a go and use what, works for you. And please, if you're familiar with the Filbert, you could share what your experience was with that. But I'm on this first row. I'm going to lead with or have on the bottom the daffodil yellow, and all I have to do is I'm touching and pulling, not even making a big stroke. I can do 2 strokes, touch, pull. I'm just coming in, not too far, before I get more paint. Now I haven't even hardly touched yellow ochre, so I'm just going to stroke in some more daffodil yellow, and I'm just going to come around this circle. Now I'm turning my paper, and that will keep me from making a pinwheel. That's one of the reasons why I'm always liking to turn my paper. So I'm just touching and pulling, touching and pulling, touching and pulling. So you can see how I have some nice blending going. This one has more yellow, but these other ones have really nice blending. Touch, pull, touch, pull. Okay, so that was the first row. Now I'm going to continue the same colors, same process of loading my brush. This time I want to put yellow ochre on the bottom just to get a little different look. But I want to fix these guys to make them the same size. Okay, so this time I'm going to make a second row, yellow ochre's on the bottom, and I want to start about right here. So I will be able to see this part of the petal, but I'm starting a new petal. And these are tight petal flowers, so you don't want a whole lot of space in between the layers. So here I go. I'm going to just touch, pull, touch, pull, touch, pull. Going to get some more paint. And I'm going to go around the circle. Touch, pull, touch, pull. Touch, pull, touch, pull. The yellow ochre is the down color. In some areas, see, sometimes it looks a little darker. Most of the time it looks the same for me. And I'll do that last one. Okay. Now for this flower, I wanted the center to be right here. So I'm just going to take my brush, and just for demonstration purposes, I'm painting in that little yellow ochre dot, just so we know. So what that means, though, the flower is facing that way. I need to now make another row of flowers, another row of petals in this spot right here. Turn my paper, though. I'm going to reverse my color again, so yellow is going to go down. And it looks like I'm going to have to have even 4 rows. See, every time every time you paint, you could be a little different. Like the first time I painted, I only had 3 rows. So this one I got, excuse me, 4 rows. And I'm just going to do one more yellow ochre on the bottom there. So I just went the bottom color. It was yellow, yellow ochre, yellow, and then yellow ochre. And this center you can't see very well, but that's okay because we're coming back. I'm painting all of these flowers first, and then we're going to come back and paint all of the centers. Okay, I just wiped my brush off. It was yellow, so it doesn't have, it's not a dark color, but with this I'm going to go straight into the next flower. And that flower is this one, the red and yellow one. So I really have enough daffodil yellow still on my palette, so I'm going to add red over here. And this red is apple red. Same brush. This is a big flower. Now this flower, I'm going to have a center right there in the middle. So I'm loading the same way, red on one side, yellow on the other side. And my first layer, I'm doing yellow on the bottom. I'm going to just come here and just come around. So I had a lot of paint, so I was able to get quite a few strokes. But now, see, I'm getting a little too blended there, so I'm going to come back and get some more paint. Finishing up my strokes here. Got some paint on my paper. And this is daffodil yellow. Okay. More paint. Okay, and I'm just going to leave that hole. I don't want to like squish another petal in there. So now my next layer is going to be the same colors but with red down. So I can just start right here. Now I'm painting wet on wet, and for this flower, it's at this point is fine, but we can do like we do in a lot of our teachings that I do, stop and let it dry. Take a break or just get out your blow dryer. But this is one that we can paint a couple layers without getting too muddy. When you get to the center, that's when you might want to stop. Okay, so there's my 2 layers. I have room for one more. I am going to wipe my brush because I'm getting a lot of extra paint on there. We like to be fully loaded, but not, so much that it gunks up our brush. Okay, so this time I'm going to put yellow down. Oh, I just looked at my notes. No, I'm still going to do red. So this one I did yellow down. This one was red down. I'm going to do red down again. One more time. Coming across. Turn my paper. And I just not sure how I like that one crossing each other, so I'm just going to restroke, and that will fix that. Then just keep finishing off there. And I have one more. I'll fix that off. Okay, so that one's done, except for the center. I think those colors are gorgeous, that red and yellow. Hi, Pat, and hi, Donna. Thank you for joining. And Leanne, great. I'm glad you were able to join us today. Now, I'm not going to use the number 10 again. I'm going to now go into my number 8. And that is, so it's just a smidgen smaller. And that's for this smaller flower right here. And that's going to be our purple one. Let me get this out. Lori, I think why I go in and out of focus is because I'm bringing this paper over, and it has such a different background color. But this is purple, so this is going to be purple. And I think not background color as much as I'm close to the camera. So I'm using purple and white. So on my palette, I'm going to add white. I just happen to have titanium white, but wicker white is fine. Any white. And then the purple I always use a lot is violet pansy. It's one of my favorite purples. And like I said, number 8. And this is the flower we're going to do. Same strokes. One side is the purple, one side is the white. And I'm painting this one with violet pansy on the bottom first. And my circle might be bigger. I only wanted 2 rows, so I'm not going to follow my pattern that I had right here. We'll see how that. I'll just see how that works. But I did want a small flower for you with purple down. So I'll see how I can do that. So I'm always coming back, getting more purple and white. Yeah, I think I drew it just a little too big. That's one of the dangers of drawing your design out and not freehanding like we'd like to on one stroke. And then one more right here. Just going to clean up that row a little bit. There. Okay, so here's the center right here. Oh, I'll be able to do it with just two rows. So here's my center. So what I'm going to do is paint no row up here. I'm moving my center up a little bit. That's why I wanted only 2 rows, to show you when it's off-centered like that, it's okay to have a short number of rows right here, and now we're going to do the other rows down here. Just getting paint. And this time I want white on the bottom. So I'm going to come right here and come to the center that I'm making. Now I don't want these curved like we can do. You know how sometimes when we paint we have little curves to our petals? These are supposed to be straight, going right into the center of the flower. So I just have to, I'm sorry, let me just check something here. I'm going to come back here and restroke these. I think I do need to have a little bit of a third row. I'm coming right back, making my second row, pulling straight into the center and leading with the white. And here's my purple center here. So I want to add, I only have a little sliver of space, but my decision is not to make these petals long to meet that center. I would rather have a little shorter petal before the center. Now to do that, I'm turning my paper so I can paint toward me. And because these petals are ones that go straight to the center, I'm just going to touch and pull and end right there at that where I put my center dot. And see how short they are? And I'm only going to be able to do like 3. I might could get 3.5 right there. Okay. So that's the flowers. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush on that. I'm done with this. the centers are going to be basically all the same, but I wanted to demonstrate different views of it. You know, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you were coming a little late, the purpose of my flowers was different colors so you can see color combinations and how they work, and different views of the flower. This is looking straight down, so we're just seeing the top of the center. This one is angled a little bit, and so we're going to see like the side of a center and part of the back. And then this one is, I painted little dots on here by error, so you're going to see it's going to be cute. It's going to be all scruffy brown here and then little dots around. And then this one is the view of having those little stamens where they actually are popping up around it. So we got 3 different views. Okay, I'll do, start at the top, I'll do this one first. And how I'm going to paint the centers is using my mini scruffy brush. We call it a mini scruffy, or it's a 1/4 inch scruffy. And the brown I'm going to use is a dark brown, burnt umber. Okay, this is very, very small, and that's a lot of paint. So I'm going to just hit it a little bit and smash it out a little bit. There we go. The colors you use for these flowers is the dark color that you used, as well as burnt umber. The burnt umber is going to be on the bottom, and our dark color that we use for the flower is going to be at the top. It's mostly burnt umber though. So I'm going to, on this brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip just about 2/3 of my brush into brown and 1/3 into yellow ochre. And let me, I'll pounce like right here. So it has just a smidgen of that yellow ochre. I do want to say though, if you're painting something that isn't going to be in such a small area, for example, and you really shouldn't, and you really don't want that distinction right there, how we load a small brush is we fully load into the light color, and then we side load into the dark color. Now, I probably could have done that. I just wanted more of the brown than more of the light color. So that's why I went ahead and dipped. But I just want to let you know, if you take a class or you see in a book, or even if you take one of my classes, and I'll tell you, from like number 6 down, maybe even 8 down, we fully load into one color and then side load into the other color. But in this case, I just did an exception to that. So in this circle, I'm going to pounce not an oval and not a circle. It's going to be like a rounded rectangle. And so I'm just going to, right here, I'm pounce that little rounded rectangle like that. So it sort of has a square look to it. Just going to, on my paper towel, I'm not going to clean my scruffy, I'm just going to wipe it off and go into burnt umber and red. Same way I did. And in this case, we're looking at it down, so I just have the red at the top and the brown at the bottom, just going around, making a circle. So it sort of gets blended in there, where this one I had a specific line of yellow and brown. This one I have a blend. Okay, so clean my brush off of that. And I'm going to into violet pansy and burnt umber. And this time I'm also going to make that little rounded rectangle with violet pansy on top. It's mostly dark, but there is that color, slight color at the top that you'll see. Okay, we're done with the scruffy. I'm going to go now into my script liner, the number 2 script liner. And I'm not, normally when you use the script liner you have inky paint, but we're not going to do that. I want to use full strength paint, but so when that happens, what I do is I wet my brush in my clean water, and I just take the excess water off of it. Now I may do this more than once. This wasn't just a one-time process, because I want my paint to be sort of thin but not inky thin. So every now and then I'm going to come in and wet my brush. Okay. I'll start with this one up here first. This is the one that I wanted to look like, where's my flower? I wanted it to look like this. This to me is so cute. But and I think we got the look by just scruffing, you know, with that little mini scruffy, the brown, and now we're going to put little dots going around the edge here of our yellow ochre that was in right here in the middle. Oh, just a second. I don't know. Mary, I don't know if you mean to be texting me. Are you trying to tell me something? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought maybe something was wrong with the connection there. Okay. Okay, let me go back. So for these little flowers, we're just going to do little dots. But I was thinking if you were painting bigger flowers here, you could literally make like little comma strokes around, and it would be so cute. But for this, because it's so small, I'm just going to take my brush into my daffodil yellow and make little dots. Now I want these to be really good dots, so I'm always coming back into my puddle of paint and getting more paint. And I'm only doing like 2 or 3 before I go back. So I'm just going to go around. Whoops, I did it again. I don't want to go on the brown. So if you're on a canvas, you could just really quickly wipe that off. There you go. This is only supposed to go around the top of your pouncing where the yellow ochre is. Now to make those stand out a little bit, I'm going to go into white and make a couple more dips right here. Okay. Let's see, I didn't wet my brush, my scruffy brush, so I'm going to go back into the burnt umber and very gently, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe you should wait till it's dry. I was just going to clean that up because I wanted the look. There we go. I wanted that look of brown and then that circle at the top. So there's that version. This one is just going to be the yellow dots going around. Like this. And I'm on the chisel edge of my brush, or the point of my brush. And now I'm going to go into white. Now also, if your colors are so dark, you're not, or so light, you're not seeing these very much, You could dip dot some burnt umber first. And that gives you that dark background color to show better. Okay, then our last one. I'm going to just clean my my script liner for this one though. And this one is the one I want to do those little touch pulls along the edge. And I'm doing that with yellow first. So I'm wetting my brush. Just getting a little bit of yellow. It's not thin yellow, it's just wet yellow. Add a couple little dots in the background here. Let me do that a little more. Just a couple back in the back. But then in the front, let me get some more, wet my brush. I'm going to do those little touch pulls, touch pulls. Yeah, see, don't let your paint get too wet, because then it gets all runny on you. So I'm touch pulling, and these are looking like those cute little, to me, those cute little things at the top. But the back, we don't see those curls, so that's why I dip dot there, and then these came around like this. Okay, so that's it. So let me see if there's some questions, and make sure I haven't left anything off. So I think that's good. I think that's our project today, and let me turn the camera around. I thank you guys for hanging in with me. What a day this has been, you know, and then we had little puppy visitors and other different things. So whatever, but I'm so happy you came. And just don't forget that next week I won't be here, but then I'll start the following Thursday. And I just want to see my notes here. And don't forget that you can contact me anytime you need to. I'm at thepaintedvine@gmail.com. And I think that's it. Again, I really appreciate you all joining me, and I really am happy that I can maybe help you learn a new technique or something. And I'll just sign off then. That my motto that I've used forever, but I'm going to start using it more and more and more for the one stroke site is I'll see you next week, and keep your brushes busy. All right, thanks everyone. Okay, bye.